guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
And we
I think this is my third or fourth time
going right now. And welcome to Game Changer Weekly. My name is John Wolf, and we are going to preview GCW's Homecoming Night 1 and 2. Co-host Brant is out for the night. We'll see him next week. Air conditioning in Las Vegas is important. I feel for the guy. He has family and pets, so we are wishing him the best. He will be missed tonight. We do have some guests in the house, including, I'll start with Lil Skittle. How you doing tonight?
What's up, guys? I appreciate you having me back.
Hell yeah. Frank, how about you, bud?
I just live here now.
I was going to say, we're going to get you a coffee cup.
Yay.
Utica, new to the show. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
So far, so good here. Joe, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me back on. I had fun last time, so let's have a great show.
Hell yeah, bud. And last, Gabe, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man?
You know what? Everyone here, I chose, again, because they know their shit, and that's kind of important, especially with homecoming weekend coming up. So I will up and read Harris Cooper in the house. How you doing tonight?
Can you see me okay? I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, because my computer, my laptop is it's stuttering.
Gotcha.
It's working. Literally, it's working. I read what I have to do. I have not used this laptop in like weeks. So it's been plugged in and on. And the only way to fix this is to literally turn it off for 2 days and not use it.
Fun.
But not plugged in. Like, no, I don't use it. So that's but the best fix that they say is to like actually shut it down completely.
Well, you're coming through loud and clear, at least on my end. So I think everybody's doing well
and
here.
You aren't like stuttering, so it's really weird.
No,
that's weird
awesome.
that it like everything comes. I tried to GCW myself as much as I could.
No, you're doing great, man. Thanks for coming along here. We are going to start with Homecoming Night 1. I didn't put these in any particular order, but there was a couple matches I left towards the end here. So I'm going to start with Tony Deppen versus Sydney Akeem. I wrote here that this match needed to happen. Tony said he may be working more dates as work allows him now. And I was going to say, just as him coming back, this is going to be a challenge for him keeping up with the speed of Sydney. Anybody else want to jump in and kind of give their opinions on Tony and Sydney?
It's a Deppen match. I mean, that's all you really got to say about it. It's Tony being Tony. That's you can add anything to Tony, and it's 90% of the time it's a good match.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Sydney's really been coming in crazy, like with these last couple matches he's had. Tony's the gatekeeper of GCW. He's going to put him to the test. It's going to be a really good match.
Yeah. And what I think is going to be most interesting is this will be the first time we've seen Sydney have to do a match like this since he's come to GCW.
That is very true. Every person
and we've never really got to see, and we've never really got to see what he really can do before this. I don't count anything we've seen of him as wrestling before this because he was held down. So we've truly only gotten to see what he's capable of in GCW. And we haven't seen, does he have a ground game? Can he do a match that isn't just all show? Can he actually do storytelling? Can he do, you would assume from his circus experience that he can, but we don't know for sure.
That's a good point because most of he's only had 5 matches so far, and almost everybody you can put in that either that cruiserweight or that lucha bucket. So having someone like Tony be more of that ground game, more of that grapple game, that would make an interesting switch. Because I think, Sydney's he's 5-0 right now. So 5-0 going into Tony Deppen in a complete genre switch will be a good test of what he can do otherwise.
I mean, he's obviously going to win. I mean, I know we don't, he's going to win. That's Tony was just complaining about. Tony was just complaining about the fact that he didn't even get to go to Utah and he really wanted to. So,
Well,
yeah, sorry, bud.
I'm sorry. What I was going to say is I'm just most curious to see is how the fans at the Showboat react to him. You know, Tony's GCW regular, you would even say original. You know, you got a WB guy coming in. I'm interested to see how the Showboat fans react to him.
well, I guess this will be the first time he's ever been in front of an actual GCW audience, won't it? Not counting the UCC. Not counting the UCC.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one, man. I think we got another Tony Deppen gatekeeping situation where I think this is all right. He's working. Let's get him on his fundamentals. Let's see how sound he is there, and if he is, let's keep booking because kids.
And plus, AC is a home game for Tony essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
and like he may be an asshole.
About 4 or 5 hours, but sure.
I mean, for the purposes of like, show home bases,
Yeah.
Like, and it's always, Tony always plays the heel these days, but he may be an asshole, but he's our asshole.
Yeah, there's not any place where Tony's more loved than AC.
Mm-hmm.
Even in his like home, probably like town, like fucking AC goes hard for Tony Deppen.
And then Akeem, I just put here, he's on a roll. Championship challenge in the future, possibly. He's put on nothing but quality wrestling matches so far. I felt like we could use about 6 more wrestlers like him. He's made me a huge fan, and I imagine him versus Ricochet without the restraints of the WWE or whatnot. But that's
everyone else came through super clear for me, and John's the only person not coming through super clear. Is that anyone else having that problem?
I hear John just fine.
Okay, that's weird.
I cut you off tonight, Reed. I'm only giving you so much bandwidth. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on Akeem? Anything else that?
I love his finish. This shit's so fire.
When you say title match, are you talking about the GCW title?
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to see him just take a little shot somewhere after another 5 wins or so, just to let him know he's a threat to the company. JCW is fine, but something.
Yeah, I think the JCW title is definitely a possibility for him. Get a name like that on the brand, I think would be really good for them.
Okay, so this will lead me into match 2. I have Ultra Mantis Black versus Danhausen. I don't know what to expect with Ultra Mantis, so I want to talk to people who may know him a little bit better. And
I have actually known him for about 17 years.
Wow.
I don't know which Ultra Mantis we're gonna get here because there are a couple of different Ultra Mantises out there. There's an Ultra Mantis who can actually go hardcore. He had a match where he fought Freddy Krueger, Gilbert, and he got slashed across the stomach, and he held that injury for a while. But there's also an Ultra Mantis who is a super comedy guy. It's where he came from. He came from a deep comedy background. Did storylines where he worked with like evil orbs and controlled people's minds. And I feel it's Danhausen, but Danhausen has also given us every Danhausen so far that GCW, GCW has given us every Danhausen we have. Dark evil Danhausen, comedy Danhausen who can wrestle. And this is the Ultra Mantis was trained by Quackenbush.
Mike.
And Holloway.
Danhausen is also training with LA Dojo, though. He's been training with Brody and a bunch of other people. And I think his skill, he's been training a lot with Brody. I think like since his original, I think since his original matches in AEW, because I'm actually a pretty big Danhausen fan, just like as a comedy gimmick in general. But I've been wanting to see him open up more, especially with like who he hangs out with and who he trains with. It might not actually be LA Dojo. It might be more Santino, but it's who Brody trains with. But his skill has gotten a lot better. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like originally when his first AEW run, like what little we did get, it was sometimes rough. And I think since then, and since he's been working a lot more in GCW, it's been great. So I'm actually pretty excited to see him.
I just want to say hello to Young Rasputin real quick. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He just jumped on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man. All right, back at you, Reed. I'm so sorry, brother.
The whole time he was in AEW, he was working off an injury the whole time. We never once got to see the Danhausen that is Danhausen in AEW. And if you look back to his old early matches, before he became Danhausen, when he had a full name, using his full actual real name, which is actually Danhausen. That's his actual last name. He was just a ring guy. So we could literally just get an Ultramantis Black versus Danhausen match. It's Homecoming. Are they the comedy slot, or do we get,
Yes,
sorry,
Gabe, go ahead.
They can go anywhere.
I was going to say
any direction.
I was going to say, I'm like pretty confident that it's going to be a little bit of GCW Danhausen, which we've seen, which is like, especially, did he wrestle Tots weekend? He wrestled it. Was it Cage or no? That's when I was up with there. I feel like I saw him there. Or maybe I saw him.
Checking now.
He was in TOS.
No, Ultramantis was in TOS.
Ultramantis was in TOS. I know we saw Ultramantis, but I feel like we saw Danhausen that weekend, Frank. Anyway,
I thought we were
maybe
talking about
not.
Ultramantis.
Either way, I think since he's come back, it's been like been a big step forward in him showing off that he can wrestle and that he does train and he is taking it serious. He's not just the AEW comedy only gimmick that they gave him, which on TV was like unbearable to watch, knowing how well he did in ROH and shit. Let's see what's the sponsor this week. Let's cart out Danhausen and just use him, and that's it. And that had to have been infuriating for him. So I think we're getting the best of him currently, and so far that's everything we've seen. What do you think?
The last time Danhausen was in Atlantic City, he wrestled Charles Mason, and he did it as his super gimmick, as the curse.
Which event was it?
Ashes to Ashes.
It was Ashes to Ashes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's crazy. A lot of.
No, we saw Ultramantis. Ultramantis.
I know we saw Ultramantis. Yeah.
Yeah.
At TOS, because I was so fucking stoked for that.
That was Ultramantis' first time in GCW, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's safe to assume it's going to be a fun match for everyone, and I think this is a match that you could either open with, or you could even put it like halfway through, and it would still be extremely entertaining. Like
I'd say, like right before intermission. I think.
Yeah, you want to either. Yeah.
I
would
say
we
want to move on to. There is one thing that they could really do with this match, because there are two other people that are currently been working in GCW, and all their appearances have been kind of successful. Wiccan and Frightmare, and they work for Ultramantis Black.
Sure.
They could, if they wanted to, create a whole new storyline and actually go for a whole feud and figure out people that Danhausen could also be friends with and create a whole thing. If that's something that's even in their
I don't see Legion of Rod coming back. I don't see Legion of Rod coming to GCW like that, though. Like based off the rest of this card that I have, I'm taking a page out of John's book and I took my notes down. I said, based off the composition of the rest of this card, this is the comedy match. This is the palate cleanser match. There's only two ways that this match can go. We both described them already. This can either go, spooky shit comedy, or this is going to be a technical showcase. And based off some of the other technical matches on the Saturday card, this is probably going to be the comedy match.
But I don't think it necessarily has to be either or. I think it can easily be both.
Yeah.
It can be both. But this
go back and watch his shit in ROH. It's like
it's gonna be a comedy match with probably some of the best wrestling you've seen.
Boom, that right there. Joe is on the money with how I'm thinking.
closer to Microman Brandon Kirk, where you're gonna get some great comedy spots, but some fun deathmatch stuff too. Probably some good technical work. You're probably gonna get a mixed bag in this match, but in a fun way. You're gonna hit a lot of different spots, would be my guess. And like you said, that's why I think it's a good match to open or middle of the card with, just to keep the crowd engaged.
I also just think in general, like, if anything, with how he's been doing, both on the indies as well as just like specifically in GCW. But I think it's time people stop booking him to be exclusively comedy, because like it's very clear that AEW did that and it's left a really bad taste in his mouth. Just look at his Twitter, just look in general. But I don't think that means that he has to fully pull back from the spooky gimmick, because that's who he is. That's what people want to go and see. But I think that especially with the last few matches with him going a little bit crazy and getting like some color and shit, that's how you book it, and you just ride that wave. So I think we're gonna see, kind of like what Joe was saying, like a lot of really good wrestling from both of them, but also like we're gonna get a little bit of that paranormal, maybe like Spider-Man pointing like, hey, you're also spooky and cast spells too, and build off that. I think it's just gonna be fun. And again, I think it's going to be either top of the card or opener, or like Rasputin said, I think a perfect way to also book this, if it's halfway down the card, is back from intermission. You open with that and get everyone having fun. And
back from intermission would probably be a good spot from this, because both
of them are more than deserving to have a second half of the card.
This match, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Joe. I'll go after you, bud.
I was gonna say, this match to me, like, like talk about trending clips and stuff like that. Deathmatch always trends on social media, but I feel like this match here has the chance to have that spot where it's like, holy shit, did you see this? What happened at GCW? Like, something in this match is gonna happen that's not deathmatch, that's trending on social media in some way.
Yeah, it's a good match to also pop the crowd. Like he swore off ever doing tequila again, but like maybe he busted out at Homecoming, and that's it. Like, there's a lot of fun that could happen with it.
I really don't think he should bust it out ever again. I mean, just the most respectful thing is if Paul is gone, let it go.
Interesting.
Paul's gone. Let it go.
I was wondering if anybody had seen the artist that's making Danhausen's mask on X. If I can get a copy of it or look at it real quick and maybe send it along to you guys, I will. It's a mean looking mask. So it almost reminds me of like one of those Japanese masks that you'll see that, it like has the evil,
almost like an Oni or a samurai style mask.
Oh,
like
I think I did
gorgeous.
See that.
Yeah.
Oh, the lucha one he has, the weird lucha one he has now.
This one is a completely new creation from the artist, and it's like evil looking. It's really cool. I also want to say thank you to Great One, Kevs, Darren for coming. We haven't seen you guys since last week, so welcome for coming in. For me, I was looking at a more serious Danhausen. I kind of like that dark Danhausen, and for me, promos are what really is his strong suit.
John,
and I want to see.
I have it if you want me to pull it up really quick.
Yes, please. Yeah, absolutely. And do what you need for screens or whatever you need there. Yeah, because it's a mean looking mask. I love it. And I was thinking, okay, he's going to come out very heelish, but I don't know. This might be the only comedy match.
Let's see if this pulls up. John, you might have to pull me up from the waiting room on this.
Oh, I see you right here. There you go. That's the mask.
Yeah, it looks so sick.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows?
Oh yeah, that's like it's like an Ani. Yeah, it's an Ani mask.
Yeah.
It's good looking.
It's more it's more Japanese than anything.
So there we go.
Yeah, right, that would be a perfect mask to be wearing against Ultramantis, at least just to, if they're gonna go comedy, but still try to keep some darkness. So keep it, psych outs, and try to like have it be everything it can be.
Exactly.
And that's what maybe we'll get lucky. It's everything. That match will just be everything it can be.
What's up?
Skittle, how you feeling, man? What are your thoughts on anything here?
Oh man, I think that the crowd's gonna be hot for a couple of matches that weekend, but like I just feel like both guys are just like really over. It's gonna be a really dope match. The crowd's gonna be really into it. Fucking two great gimmicks. Like, class.
I agree.
It's gonna be like one of the more standout matches on the whole card. Like absolutely, because it's not just like about the match. Like there's like something to invest in.
Wow,
I agree.
That's a
Like,
good way to put it.
hearing a
Utica.
crowd pop. Oh,
Oops.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Whoever wants to go. It's like herding cats sometimes when there's
Yeah.
more than like.
no, I
5
was
or
just
6 people.
agreeing with Skittle. Just like they're both so stupidly over that like it would have to be like competitively trying to make a bad match for it to be bad. Like I just think
Yeah.
they both you're taking two extremely charismatic people, either from appearance or just in the ring, however you want to cut it, and you're
Mhm.
putting them in the ring together. Like it's gonna be good.
Utica, what you thinking over there? Anything?
Shit.
That's okay. You want me to? I'm gonna.
I just absolutely blanked out right now.
No, you're good. I'm gonna go
No.
on to match number 3 then, and you can give us. You can be number 1 on the next one here.
All right.
Yeah, because next one here I'm going to mention is the 6-person tag team match: Thrusy versus Raj, Desi, and Bollywood. Utica, it's all on you. No,
All right,
stress.
I'm always gonna pick Thrusty, but this is obviously not gonna be. I feel like this is obviously not going to be the end of the story between Effie and Raj or whatever is. What's his new name now?
It's Raj, but everybody's just going to
Yeah.
say Jinder this
Yeah.
whole.
Raj Desi.
Oh,
can't use it 'cause
Blake's here
obviously-
causing
Oh,
trouble.
Blake's here. Oh, God.
Great.
How you
Hey,
doing,
Blake.
Blake? We love you,
Oh.
man.
Thrusty going to take the win, but it's not going to be the end of the rivalry. It's obviously going
Most
to lead
likely,
up
Blake.
to another big fun blow-off match.
Well, I'm just letting you know, Blake, you're the last match that. Oh, see, there we go. You're the last match that we're talking about on night 1 here, so you can take a break if you need to, and we'll be summoning you at some point here. Of course, if you need to, check the link I gave you a while back. You can always jump in if you need to speak for yourself.
This is
so.
another match in a long-running genre of match called Effie is the key to the indie heat. You know, this has been, how many times have we been through this angle with different people? First it was Cardona, then it was Jeff Jarrett,
Yeah.
and now it's Raj. Was there one more in the middle there?
What are you
I think
saying?
there
Um,
might have been.
I guess he didn't really have a feud with Mox, but
I don't even consider Mox to be an outsider at this point. Like, I mean, he when he came into GCW, he gelled a lot more, and he didn't play the Hollywood ex WWE guy angle
Yeah,
as
you're
much
right.
as
you're
as
right.
much as Cardona or.
He played.
We are seeing.
Well, John, I think last week on your show when you had Brett on, if it wasn't last week, it was the week before, I had asked, and he didn't shoot it down, if we would ever see Kali in GCW, and he didn't.
Well,
shoot
I
it
mean,
down.
that's where my whole hope is this blows off. We get another one of those Punjabi prison matches like we did
Oh,
in
yes.
Philadelphia, and the great payoff was because I saw the Bollywood boys after I was talking to them. I said it was a great match. I was hoping maybe Jinder or Kali would show up. They go, hey, you never know. We got one of the
Mhm.
two. So.
That was a scary match.
Punjabi prison war games, because there are 2 other friends that Desi can bring in, who would be really awesome to see. Who was what I thought was going to be because I felt like the Bollywood boys had become such faces that even though everyone was saying it's going to be them, I'm like, well, what if it wasn't?
It was never going to be 3-man band.
Original. No, that's not who I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about Karachi Vice.
Oh.
And Karachi Vice are currently still in TNA. Champagne and Hakeem. And they would be
Could you
you
imagine
could
if the
add them
Khali
to
really pulled up to the boat?
What's that, Utica? I'm so sorry, brother.
Could you imagine if
Or
Great Khali really makes his way out during the match?
No.
Oh.
Kali, Jinder, and the Bollywoods.
The curtains are too short in the carousel room. We would just see Kali above all the curtains in the backstage.
He's just standing there for like a minute or so.
behind it.
Do you
Brett-
continue the Kali
They
lore
would be
though?
able to-
Like,
they
is
couldn't keep it a
is one
surprise.
chop able to take everyone down?
He
Oh,
has
you know?
to. He has
Oh,
to.
Like, you have
yeah.
to, right?
Well, you know
chop.
what? Maybe
Put all
not
3 of
Kali
them in the
this.
corner, one chop, boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
you
not
know the
Kali
one
in
where
this
he, like,
show.
Like just the
He
fucking
does it to
super
one person, and everybody in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because didn't
You
Jinder
have to,
just win the
right?
AAA belt on this past weekend with Platinum? Is that his name?
Yep.
Veer.
So
Him and Platinum Singh.
so maybe Platinum Singh comes out to help them this weekend now that they're officially a team.
Fucking Veer.
Brett
I
loves
mean,
hype.
I think there's a lot
He
of ways
loves
they
hype.
can go with it, but I mean, as much as I'm a fan of Effie and Thrusy, you know, I will be cheering for them harder than just about anybody. But I do think to continue the feud going, that Jinder and Bollywood, those boys are going to get the win this weekend. If I was
But not clean, right?
No.
Something
I don't
has to
believe
happen.
No, I believe some shenanigans will
If
happen.
the
but I
Bollywood
believe-
boys are booked at a major event, it's gonna be some.
But I think it's going to be a hell of
tomfoolery.
a ride. It's going to be a very fun match and one that's got a chance to steal the show night one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also think
sorry, John. No, you go. Mine wasn't really.
I was also going to say, just having Raj backstage, I'm hoping that inspires younger independent talent too to kind of push themselves a little harder. So anytime you see success walk through the door, I think anyone that has a little ambition should look at that and go, you know what? I need to push a little harder next week. Because,
Absolutely.
so I'm hoping inspiration hits also.
And it's Homecoming. Like Homecoming is the big one. Sorry, Gabe. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I like his booking so far. Like he doesn't come off as an ex-WWE guy that's I'm better than that. What do you mean? I need to be booked to like main event. Like, no, he's just it's cool to see, and like especially after hearing his
be a transitional champion somewhere else though.
Especially with his post interviews and stuff, talking about how he feels with WWE and just kind of where he was at going into it, just taking what you're being booked and just having fun with it. Like he's gonna put his all in it. It's nothing more than it needs to be, and it's cool. I'm glad he's been making his way out onto the indies and stuff, especially because I never got to see him in WWE just because tickets are ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
no, I mean,
you can't afford that shit.
To kind of speak on that, I was front row at Asbury Park, and I mean, him and Speedball just absolutely tore it up. But I mean, there is something to be said about that larger than life presence, like John was saying, when he walked walked out through the curtains, and he came out and was in the ring. Like I have these pictures of just, the light was hitting him. It was just like, this is a superstar, and Speedball tore it up. And like you said, it's not like he came out and didn't let Speedball get his shit in, and made Speedball look weak. No, they went toe to toe. It was incredible. So
it was really good.
I'm very excited about that. By the potential this run has.
More than anything, it just kind of bums me out knowing that I think his WWE run is just universally looked at as like, damn, that sucks. Like, because he's so deserving of especially now that I've seen what he can do and like his attitude, especially on the indies with people, like you were saying, like with Speedball, it's like, damn, this was purely booking, and like we could have actually seen a really cool, maybe more heelish Jinder, but
I think
writing and shit at the time.
I think that what John was talking about in terms of the younger guys and seeing what it takes to be successful. Like if this was a couple years ago, the conversation is completely different. Jinder truly invested in himself in a way that I don't think any of us thought was possible.
Yes,
and I think that is what the young guys need to take. Is this man, was 3-man band was kind of a joke. This man reinvested himself, came back, and was world champion. So I think that's what to take away.
I totally agree.
What's his name? Drew was also in 3-man band too.
Yeah, it was Drew, Heath, and Tim. At one point, they were all champions, I think, right?
Did Heath ever get gold?
Heath is the only one that hasn't won the world title yet.
He won the tag with Rhino.
Yeah,
he won the tag with Rhino.
Well, no, I think when Heath was in
IC at some
Impact.
point, but no, but even that tag run with Rhino,
Yeah.
It's all about taking what you're given with and running with it, and that's clearly what Raj is doing. Is kind of taking the Cardona approach of, all right, what do? I spent 90 days just getting in even better shape, and I'm coming out swinging with the biggest indie promotion in America, and I'm going after arguably the biggest star in the independents, Effie.
That right there explains the impact Cardona had on the indies. Just
100%.
saying. The fact that you said the Cardona effect, we all immediately know, oh, you mean fucking completely reinvent yourself and then become everyone's favorite shithead? Yes. Yeah.
And it almost seems like it's wild to say this, talking about the Cardona effect, but it's almost like he doesn't need any major promotion anymore. He's so much
All right.
bigger at this point that there's nowhere for him to go, even if he went to WWE. Like, there's no way to go higher than what you currently are.
Great one said, remember, Raj worked with The Rock on day one this year. Oh, yeah. He said it went out again. Yeah, poor Bizzard, or poor Brant went out again on that one. I'm going to lead us into match 4. Masha Slamovich versus Galeno Del Mal. I said here that Masha's been very busy outside the company. Should the JCW championship be better utilized on someone else right now? I'm not saying Galeno takes it. I'm just saying maybe there's a young superstar out there that could snatch it. This is where maybe Akeem could come in. So if there is someone else, again, that's only if you agree. If there is maybe a JCW champion in your mind, who is it?
I mean, that's not a thought that's even come through my mind yet, but I do think there's some validity to that comment. And the first name that popped in my mind that really hasn't been at least given that chance to take the ball and run with it is Jack Cartwheel. I think he is.
I totally agree.
Uber talented, just gets over everywhere he goes. Some places he's not known. Some places like LA or AC, he's already getting huge pops when he walks out the door. But 3 to 5 cartwheels later, the crowd is going apeshit. So I wonder what a reign of his would look like, however long. But you made that comment. That's the first name that popped in my mind.
That's a really good, just like
So
person to
is
occupy.
this
Like,
Bill, is this being
Mid-tier.
billed as a JCW title match?
That I have to look. I'm assuming so because she seems to have the history of a fighting champion. So I'm assuming any match she's in, if she can, she throws it in there.
I don't think it's been advertised as one, but it could definitely turn to
Only
one.
it just feels like they're really pushing Galeno. I feel like we're going for a Galeno versus Zilla kind of thing is what it feels like we're going towards. So how does she retain but also keep? How do you keep him strong losing to some? Not to say that Masha isn't the beast, but still he's being built as a beast. So they have to figure out a way for he still looks. That Masha finds some kind of weakness that she preys upon.
Yeah, I'd imagine we'll see,
more than anything,
a big, like I could see him, her hitting the snowplow and getting a 1 count kick out. I think there's going to be some big moments like that really keep him strong if she does retain, and this is in fact a title match because, like you said, they made him look strong in the few appearances. We've seen him. He's come across like a beast.
I would have interference. I would book interference. I'd have Galeno just whooping, 80% of the time, fairly strong. And then we could have an interference that either fucks Masha and or fucks Galeno.
I definitely see this as one of Matt Cardona's special host moments.
Yeah, because Jimmy is announced for a title match later that night versus Masha for the JCW title. So
okay,
that's fair. That's a great shout, actually.
And John, real quick, a name that you were talking about possibly getting that JCW title. We see him a lot on the Japan tour. Maybe Marcus. I think he would be pretty good with that JCW belt. You saw Jordan kind of build his star with that belt. I think Marcus could kind of get that rub also, and he would be great with it.
I agree.
Yeah, he's one of those ones that now he still looks like a young guy, but he's starting to move out of that young body and into a more mature body. And he's starting to look less like a younger wrestler and more, what I mean is his moves are a little more crisp. He looks like someone who's been doing it for years.
The young prodigy in favor of Philly's finest. So that's even
love it.
And
seeing more of him is excellent. Well, we'll probably get into that more, but
yeah.
Galeno.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Frank. You beat me. We'll do it that way.
I think I marked this in my notes as that this is probably going to be the Haas fight of the night because any other matches that would have that label are definitely leaning more towards either a hardcore or a light death, even a full death match. And Galeno's just a fucking meat mountain. And Masha's no slouch herself. I definitely see this as being the heavy hitting, big meaty men slapping meat kind of match of the night.
Yeah, Galeno's 23, 6'5", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Fucking agile,
Yes.
quick, wrestling family lineage, Wagner and Wagner Jr. I honestly think just getting him on GCW tape is smart.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to kick in on that one?
It's one of the matches I'm really looking forward to for just good wrestling.
Yeah.
I just want to see a good match with a lot of really good technical shit, some slams, Haas shit. I'm stoked.
What I will say is there's not a bad match on the show. Like,
No.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for it.
I don't know who it was that said it, but it's like to go against this show. Like, that's rough. It's a fucking stacked card.
Yeah.
I think that should just
shout out Reed's cat.
I know, right? Has all the good answers too. Quite the talker. All right, I'll go on to match 5. We'll go on here to Casey Catal and Brandon Kirk versus Los Macizos tag match.
Oh,
I put love the Kirks, versatile as death matchers, tag and singles. Both can wrestle. A little statistic here. Casey has won 4 out of the 8 tournaments she's ever been in career. More Kirks in GCW is my opinion. It would be beneficial to all parties, company, performers, and fans. I'll step back and let everyone else kind of fight that one. Or
I'm going to kind of pop in and kind of go back to a match I spoke on earlier. An unironic 5 stars for me. One of my matches of the year, Microman versus Brandon Kirk. And then, like you said, Casey in these tournaments, just in death matches, just both of them are so versatile. Then you put them together, it is a fun tag team. You add the Macizos to the mix, which is,
I'm having my own Microman versus Brandon Kirk match right now.
Macizos, we all know what they can do, especially in Atlantic City. I'm expecting a lot of shenanigans and fuckery in this match.
I think that this may be the straw that breaks the camel's back with the Macizos, and I think that's going to lead to a Kirk's win.
Yeah, I would also, eventually I assume, but yeah, Kirk's win is also something I'm predicting, and we get the Macizos full blown.
I think this is the first.
Hopefully, a nice push for the Kirks. I would not hate to see either Kirk.
Hi, Baruso. How are
Baruso's here to talk shit. Let's see here. So
I would not hate to see either Kirk holding a title belt in GCW by the end of the year.
Give Kirk's the tag belts.
Yes, me and Frank were sitting next to each other at TOS, and we just kept talking about like this room is deafening during all of Kirk's matches. Like the pop that he got when he won in TOS was insane. Like, I'm on the West Coast and I've heard big pops. That was like loud even for you guys. That was fucking loud. So as soon as it ended, I was like, I need more Brandon Kirk and I need more Casey Kirk. Just all the time. All the time. I love them both.
This is the first true Kirk's match. Like we've had Brandon, we've had Casey, we had whatever was in the clusterfuck this year with Brandon and Casey. But I think this is the first true Kirk's match.
Now, I know in JCW they've done a couple tags, but GCW full-on official.
We don't count the settlement series. Nobody counts the settlement series.
No, I mean, even they had a match versus...
I know what he's saying.
God, I can't remember who it was, but somebody at the Mecca, even non-settlement series. But, even if you don't count those, I think, full-on GCW official, I believe so.
Yeah, I think the closest we kind of got was that Casey and John Wayne when Kirk came out and kind of helped her. But that was kind of the closest we got.
Okay, here we go. GCW's the Sunday night special, May 19th, 2024. It was a 2-on-3 handicap, the Kirks versus Rich and Powerful. Only went for 9 minutes. Ridge Park, Knights of Columbus, Ridge Park, Ridgefield Park. So there you go. That's
I feel like we watched that together.
What a fun venue to work in.
We probably watched that on.
What a fun venue to work in.
Yeah,
it's a different venue. It's a different venue for you to be at than to work in. It is such a strange venue to work in. The entrance and exits from the locker room to the ring are very weird.
I was going to ask you the name of your cat, man.
Tiger Lily.
Oh, that's a cool name. I had to ask. I thought it was cool.
Like Peter Pan?
Yeah. Let's see here. On Los Macizos, I wrote in my notes here, they're my favorites. That tease of breaking up. Same thing with the Kirks. Los Macizos are also versatile deathmatch tag singles. I also call them the workhorses of GCW. Anything on Los Macizos anybody wants to add that we haven't said already?
I have notes on Macizos that I'll talk about on for day 2. So
Okay.
If they end up splitting, which I'm assuming they are gonna after what happened in Asbury Park, it's gonna be like the craziest feud GCW's seen in a long time. Like, both of those guys are crazy.
Spots we're gonna see are gonna be nuts.
Yeah,
it just keeps making me think of the was it TOS 5 where they were against each other, or 4?
TOS 3 in the finals. And
3. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was one of the earlier ones.
That had the barbed wire fucking ring.
I think
it
it's
just
been
keeps
a
making
long
me think
time
of
since
that.
they've actually had to face each other.
And
Yes.
I mean,
they have to face each other, but it was always like, oh, we're just Los Macizos going at it. Like this time, it's like, oh, nah, like fuck you, like we're gonna
feelings.
It'll be fine.
So like you guys said, I think the split's coming, this weekend, and I don't know if it's in the first round or wherever, but I believe the first big match between them comes in the NGI. If I had,
are we getting that announcement this weekend?
Most likely,
yeah,
I would imagine so. But if I had to guess, that's where we're going to see the first big match between these two.
If the NGI is in Atlantic City, I think they will announce NGI this weekend.
I have a follow-up question from Macizos.
It would be the first match, but it wouldn't be the first big match then. It would be like that's part of the tournament, and then therefore they still have to have their actual storyline, like know who's better than, who is really better under normal circumstances. Just even in a first round of a tournament, it's still the concept of you're, as a wrestler, you're pacing yourself to not have to, storyline wise, as you're watching it as a person watching the wrestlers, you feel like each wrestler, their main goal in a tournament is get in and get out as fast as possible. I don't care about killing the other guy. I just want to do whatever I can and get out. And I would think even, especially those two, if they're, for a tournament, so we might have the quickest match ever between those two, and then a follow-up.
I can see this as like a New Year's blow-off kind of thing.
I like these ideas.
Because NGI last year was the 30th, right? Day before New Year's.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible.
All right, then that'll lead us into match 6. Now the matches are going to get interesting. Zilla Fatu versus Matthew Justice. I wrote here that Zilla's another talent I'm happy we're getting on tape. 1 year from now, he could be our GCW world champion. He's fortunate to have a big personality without having to say anything. Fans love him. He's someone GCW could build behind for the next year or so until he's more available, we'll say. And then I put welcome back to our viral high dive reel, Matthew Justice. He's basically kept up GCW's brand awareness on social media throughout the week by sharing videos of people going, look at that crazy shit he did. So I'm happy to see him back. He keeps the GCW name alive at least an extra day or two online until the next show. That's what I have to say.
Is I won't go into details of the conversation that I had with him last time I spoke to him, but him suddenly showing back up in GCW out of nowhere really was okay, what happened in the last 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe the last month, or maybe he's just been coy and been super coy about it, so that anyone, even when it's like not even when it's not even like it's just a conversation that has nothing, that he really wants anyone to seriously be shocked that he suddenly shows up back in GCW, especially because it felt like there was bad blood going on.
Yeah.
I think he had XPW stuff going on too, right?
I think
the XPW.
Oh yeah.
Because those
a lot of that
were
Circle 6, right?
Yeah. He was
choosing those bookings over GCW, I believe. And then something
there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking with Matthew? Okay, so even online publicly, he said it was money. They were just trying to get money to meet in the middle.
It was all about money. Yeah.
I don't know if it's all about it. It was just he publicly said it was about. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You can't blame the guy.
I'm also
Yeah,
of the
no.
party where it's none of my business, so I don't really
Yeah.
care. Like just straight
What
up.
he said.
Like it's none of my business. But
I only care from I only care from the storyline business of the fact that he was gone so long. We haven't yet seen him say hello to Effie or Manders storyline wise. Storyline wise, he hasn't shown where
But he's
at
inserted
yet.
himself back into this deathmatch royalty angle.
Right. But he's not. He hasn't said who's he's, and we don't know who he's. We don't know if he's on his own now, storyline wise, or if he's going to, if they're going to reform, and that it's just like it's us versus Manser for real now. And I feel like obviously a lot of answers won't come at night one. That'll be a match. Whoever wins or loses, neither one is going to lose any either one could win or lose, I feel, in a match like that. And it'll just be more about that's a match that happened. Those two got to actually test each other,
I just want to mention real quick, just to break in, Barusa, I just want to let you know, I sent you a message. So if you want to, what's up? How you doing? You might know a couple people here, huh?
What's up, you fuckers? Hello.
Yes, we have met. I believe he's met all of us at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. He's abused me and I've abused him online back and forth. It's a mutual thing, give each other a bruise here and there. Matt, we're just basically going down everything that's going on homecoming weekend, 1 and 2. And we just mentioned in here that this is Matthew Justice's first time in the terminal. Wonder where he's going to jump from.
Where he's gonna jump from? I don't know where he's gonna jump from.
How many scissor lifts are you bringing this weekend? How many scissor lifts are you bringing?
How many times we scissor?
It's obvious. It's a scissor lift.
Because it's got to be a scissor lift. Where else would he be able to jump from?
It's the Ghostbusters car on top of a scissor lift. That's what he's jumping from.
There.
I'm just saying, there are no high spots in that venue from what I can recall. I haven't physically been in it but from TV, there doesn't seem to be anything for him to jump off of.
That's why you're saying a scissor lift.
Yeah.
Yep. Scissor lift or cherry picker. That's the options.
So I
think Justice is going to have a very technical match. There's going to be all headlocks. It's going to be arm bars.
Real graps.
Couple of body slams.
Wasn't that a Jericho gimmick where he would just yell out his moves while he's doing them?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably when he was the man of 1,004 holds.
Yeah.
Or bar.
Yeah. Because Dean Malenko was doing the same shit.
What were you were saying something else?
Oh, yeah. Oh, me? Or
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, it's been really cool seeing him like in other promos. Like, don't get me wrong, I found him and loved him in GCW, but seeing him go out, I went to King of the Death Match and got to see him wrestle as champ. It's cool seeing him with like a big belt around him and seeing him work at all the other places. I just think it's kind of like, it's nice to see him coming back and wrestling in GCW, especially with how much work he has behind him now from other promos, working with other people. I think it's honestly, I just took it always as he's just getting his name out in other places, getting some gold around his waist if someone wants to offer it. Like, what's not to love about that, especially for someone like him, who I think absolutely deserves it. But this match is going to be the ass beater match of the weekend. Absolutely.
This is the brawl around the world of the entire.
Oh yeah, this was like I'm in Phoenix, so I got to see Zilla and Manders, and that was just big meaty men slapping meat, and this is just going to be that to another degree.
Not a single garbage can will remain upright during this match.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I fully expect to hear CTE chants at least at one point. Like
write that down. Write that down. Write that down.
As violent as Zilla has been, and as violent as we can see Zilla be, we haven't seen how violent he might be because of who his father is. Justice might be able to be the guy that might be able to bring that like really dangerous, crazy side out of him. That I feel like we've only seen like almost an edge of it, not the full thing.
Did you see him in Manders?
Mm-hmm.
He literally dove
it was Haas stuff, but it wasn't like
dog. He
psychotic.
literally
Like,
dove and broke 4 chairs front row. Like when he dove, he didn't just like do a tope suicide. No, because I was sitting right next to that shit. He broke 4 chairs and took out like the back.
It may have not come it might have not come as impactful for me at home. I don't know.
Oh, I thought that match was insane.
I feel like I feel like there's still another screw to be like loosed on Zilla that's gonna like be like, whoa.
But to quote Hamilton, everything's legal in Jersey. The fact that this match is taking place in Atlantic City is that extra turn it to 11. Just because there's no athletic commission in Jersey, which is why all the dumb shit happens here. That alone is that extra oomph to have a crazy, crazy match.
Do tubes get broken out?
What's really gonna just make the difference in waking up Zilla, as Reed says, is one of them fucking Masato Tanaka, Matthew Justice fucking chair shots to the head. Like a couple of those. Yeah, it's gonna be on. That match is gonna be insane.
I think Barristo died, John.
Actually, I've been in a staring contest with him. He's fucking me up right now.
But Reed was talking about Zilla not really doing anything crazy. But I mean, him and John Wayne at that
that logo
Houston show, that was insane.
There you are.
It was
He's moving now.
It was insane, but I mentioned this on tweet on it. It was also as the safest death match you'll ever see, though. In a good way. It was the most safest death match I had seen in a long time. And that was important because it was the first time he was actually having to, do something like that. I mean, and they threw him to the wall. I mean, they threw him to the wolves on his second death match. And yes, he went death. I'm not talking about that kind of crazy. I'm not talking like doing stuff crazy. I'm talking about seeing a personality actual shift. We've seen him be a savage, but I want to see us discover that he is truly part of this bloodline. And we haven't necessarily really gotten to see, in my opinion, in my field, we haven't seen who Zilla truly could become yet. And that's
one year with Fatu would have been just amazing, but he got picked up by WWE. We would have basically had a carbon copy, but younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get a chance to stay with his cousin for long enough. And now he has, he really doesn't have anyone.
I'd throw him with Juicy. Just for the fuck of it. Throw him with Juicy maybe and let them kind of put something together.
I mean, unofficially, Juicy was part of that team, so yeah. Officially and unofficially, Juicy was part of that team.
Honestly, I don't want to pair with anyone.
I'm with
singles.
I straight up think straight up whatever the booking's been doing now, where
you could use guided.
Literally just keep it going. Like he's getting booked in just hard ass matches. Tubes have been busted out. Him and Murdoch fucking ruled. Him and Manders ruled in person. I'm stoked for this. Like, he's fine. He doesn't need to be paired with anyone. He's holding his own. Book him with people that he can take from because he's newer. But yeah, I think it's been fine. I think just go on the course. Like, fuck it, we ball. He's not paired with anyone. He's just been doing fine on the solos. Let him grow like that because everyone's already talking about him.
He had 23
Don't fuck
matches.
with it. Leave it. Yeah. Don't fuck with it. It's working.
I also like the safety in some of what he's doing because he's got that jump off of the ring onto the door bridge below on the floor. I mean, you're only falling so many feet there, and he's also doing that at a decent angle. And I mean, the snap isn't too bad there. So I kind of like their safety worked in there. And I don't know many other companies that could utilize him like we have and still hide the fact that he's just so new. Not green, new, because green means you don't kind of get it yet. And the cat
That's
gets
literally
it. He
why
just
I
needs
said
to do
new.
it.
It was like they're all born with it. It's practically they're born with it, and that's what's insane.
He was born with it, grew up around it, and then was trained by Booker T. Like, dude, he only had one place to go, and that's
isn't
up.
He's still over at Reality in some way, I believe too. He still goes there.
I believe you're right. I'd have to look that up real quick, but let me see if I can give you an answer.
But like, as far as match expectations, I don't think anyone really cares. Like, do they do glass? Do they do tubes or anything? I'm just curious if they would do that, because all I expect from this is just at least one really hard chair shot, and other than that, I'm good. Just because it's Matthew Justice, people are wanting it.
I don't think tubes though, just because there are 3 other spots in this card where there could be tubes.
It's just going to be fucking ass beating. That's all it is.
A lot of doors.
Yeah, doors, like maybe a scissor lift. We don't know. But yeah, it's just, you see Matthew Justice on the card, you know what's coming.
Talking about tubes in this match, I don't think you need tubes with these two guys. These guys take risk and with the best of them. So I just don't think.
Brusso, Matt laughs as he has to go to the equipment rental place tomorrow and pick it up.
Well, as somebody who spoke to these guys both in Cleveland, I have no idea what they're going to do. They're both very, very unpredictable people, and nobody tells me shit until 5 minutes before, and then we figure it out. That's how it goes. It's called it's insanity all the time. But I have a feeling like it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a lot of glass and all that shit. We saw Zilla with John Wayne, and he proved he can hang and bang with deathmatch cats for fucking on some real shit. But I think this is going to be more of a very old school brawl around the entire terminal thing. This is the very first time that Matthew Justice will be wrestling inside the terminal. And I think he's going to use that to his full potential, and it's going to be an old school brawl throughout the fucking crowd, throughout the terminal. It's going to be a fucking absolute catastrophe. You guys,
one of those glass walls from the hallway to the terminal, somebody going through one of those glass panels, like one of those glass walls.
It's all I'm thinking, like based off like how Matt was saying, like walk and brawl kind of a thing. It's gonna make me think of the dog collar match from last year's Homecoming, because like I remember going to use the bathroom and just seeing blood all on the pillars, being like, yeah, that was a cool match. But yeah, it's just ass beat all around the terminal. I agree.
Guys, give me a few moments. I might pop back in here. I've been yo'd by Mr. Lauderdale, so I will be back. Apparently, things are happening. I'll be back.
Not a sweat, man. Thank you for coming.
The bat signal went up.
Go.
The bat signal.
You're talking to the fans.
Will it be one of those?
The Matt signal.
Will it be one of those Joes where Brett just says Joe and says nothing, or?
His reflexes, I just want to comment one thing. His reflexes blew my mind, because both Cage and TOS, his ability to completely dodge giant shards of glass is insane. Ugh. Like the fucking twists and shit at the turnbuckle.
He has better restraint than I do, because he was some of the crowds were working him at these last couple of Showboat shows, and he showed some restraint there, not busting some skulls.
Wow. I wanted to give an answer on Zilla Fatu. His last match at ROW was June 8th of 2024. And then again, he's got that House of Glory title right now too. So he's active.
One last thing on it. What a good, solid title to give him. House of Glory seems perfect for someone like Zilla to carry that and run with it. Like, I think it's a good spot for him to start, like getting titles and shit.
Blows my mind what he's done though in 23 matches. Like,
inhuman.
It's crazy.
Is it safe to just expect him to eventually be in WWE at one point? At this,
yes,
absolutely.
So
because
when John said he could be champion here within a year, the thought went through my head: if he's still here, with
if he's still here, I had that same thought. Is do you really expect him to be in the Indies that long, John? That's insane.
Well, and I don't want to.
I'm thinking. I'm so sorry, Joe.
John,
I was just thinking personal. He's landlocked till 2027. So, I mean, we're probably going to be seeing him strictly in the country. He could be picked up at any time and go straight to WWE and just go straight
Landlocked.
to training.
Yeah, he had some
Legal.
priors and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
kind of.
But WWE might tell him too, like, hey, get as many fucking dates as you can and get your work in, because like he's gonna, be on a fucking crazy schedule as well. And honestly, like, I think that if we're really going down a mark statistic or something, every time I see him wrestle, he's better than the last time I saw him. And that percent, I guess, if we want to measure it in some bullshit stat, is like huge. Like his gains between matches are bigger than most people have on the indies when they're just starting off. Like if you just blindly told me, oh yeah, he's been wrestling for like 3 to 4 years, I'd be like, oh, cool. And just not really think about it. Like it's like you said, it's crazy how it's only 25 matches. But yeah, I think it's not a matter of if WWE, it's a matter of just when.
Yeah. When the two got that injury at the last WWE event, I for sure thought, okay, they're pivoting. They're bringing Zillow in now to fill his role. Like, that's how fast I think he's going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people just have it, honestly.
No, he's one of them. That's why his personality is so big. He doesn't need to talk. He does everything right there in front of you, and fans love it. I mean, he just gotta go, and then everybody loves it. So.
Like that's what I was saying. Like,
like father, like son. I mean, we never heard Umaga say a goddamn word, and he was one of the most powerful forces. For years.
But he is one of the coolest dudes. Like when you do talk to him outside with the fans, he's one of the nicest dudes out there. Yeah. No, I definitely know what you mean. I'm just saying, like, overall
presence. Like I didn't really watch WWE around that time because it was a rough time. But like when I would watch it at my buddies' places or whatever, Umaga fucking ruled. Because like just like you were saying, just his presence, standing in the ring with his face paint just like posted up in one side, you're like, that's a bad motherfucker. Like I like him. Like. That's all you need to do. That's what I was saying earlier and stressing. Like, don't pair them up. Don't like the formula's working perfect. Just let it cook.
The only person I would be interested in seeing them paired up with is possibly Umaga's old manager. That'd be badass if GCW could somehow swing that.
That'd be crazy.
Okay, that's different.
Salvatore.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
What was it? I forget his
Eduardo, name. Right? Or
I have
the power of the
Estrada or something like that.
Estrada sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what
Armando Estrada.
Armando
with the white hat.
And he would just drag out his name every time he did it.
Armando.
All right, so I'm gonna move into match 7. For me, I feel like this should have been the GCW Ultra Violent title. Big fucking Joe versus John Wayne Murdoch. Also, happy birthday, John Wayne Murdoch.
Happy birthday,
Any thoughts?
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Skittle,
Happy
you know what? I'm
birthday
going to say
to the dude.
Skittle. Skittle, I'm going to ask you first, man. I see you over there. You're so freaking polite about everything. What do you think about Big F and Joe and John Wayne Murdoch here?
Oh, my Lord. That's going to be a match. That's going to be a match. Fucking Big F and Joe's going to come out in his goddamn underpants. And then John Wayne Murdoch's going to come out in like fucking... some John Wayne Murdoch, like some purple pants and some fucking a flannel, and they're just gonna have the most violent fucking shit you ever saw in your entire existence. That match is gonna be really good. You got probably the best fucking like pound for pound deathmatch wrestler in America versus the best from England. I know there's a lot of good, but at least top 5 from both areas. I know they've wrestled before probably, but it'll be cool to happen in the boat. They're gonna go in.
I actually have a quick question about this because I know I've talked about it with Frank in person. So I was just okay with Joe. Like I was like, yeah, he's cool. You know, I didn't really watch him a whole lot because there was a while where he was just in XPW and I'm not really an XPW guy. So I'd have to catch him on either other dates or whichever. But I thought he was cool. He completely not just won me over, but I'm a huge Joe fan after seeing his match in both TOS and then that fucking insane match that was just a train wreck prison riot at COS against Tremont. After that, I was like, it clicked. I fuck with him so hard now. I don't know if anyone else was like that, but I remember telling Frank that, being like, I was just okay with Joe. Like, yeah, he's cool. I'll watch his match. But now I'm like, oh fuck, Joe's on this card. Let's go. Like, I'm ready.
This match, out of the two proper death matches on this card, this and Nick and Drew, this one will likely be. I mean, Nick and Drew will probably be the better match that people say, "Oh my god, remember Nick and Drew from that one night?"
Yeah.
I think that Joe and Murdoch will be the better technically wrestled death match out of the two of them. But the aura of Drew Parker and Nick Gage will outshine this in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, kind of took the words right out of my mouth where I said this is kind of the least I have to say about a match, but in kind of the best way, where it's
Do we think there's a chance
Conway Murdoch versus
that
Big Joe?
Nick
where,
may not make this match?
You hear these two people, you hear these two names, and death match in the Showboat in Atlantic City. It's gonna
for
be
his few matches as Nick wrestles. Even the matches that he has been announced for and has missed. Nick can't miss an AC show.
Not against Drew, and they're still
especially against Drew.
They're still pumping out.
This is the last time they'll even have the opportunity to touch. They have to do it.
Yeah, and I think like as of today, GCW is still pumping out new promotional pieces for this match. I think at least for the fans' sake, they wouldn't pump this out for an AC show if they knew that there's a possibility that Gage isn't working this match.
Yeah, like don't even speak that into the universe. That
why would you say that? Like
Gage missing an AC show is just not even on the sacred timeline.
And then you throw Parker into it, and it's even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't even in my mind at all, truthfully.
Don't you dare say that again.
Didn't he just work the Juggalos like Friday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why wouldn't he? Is he still hurt? Why wouldn't he work on Saturday?
He's not hurt.
You're not allowed to ask hard questions, Joe. No more hard questions, but
but getting back to this match here with Big Joe and John Wayne, this match is gonna, like everyone said, it's gonna kick ass. It's gonna be, like they said, the best technical death match on the card, and I'm just ready for it. These guys are gonna kill each other all over the Showboat. It's gonna be a great show.
I feel like, especially for some death matches,
I'll be very curious, actually, to see what they attempt to do, knowing that they don't want to overshadow the main event, but they also want to create something new and not just be two deathmatch guys fighting on night one of Homecoming. They still want it to be something that has its well, the only reason that's happening is my internet keeps cutting out, so I can't tell when people are talking, so I apologize. But one of the things that I feel like there's gonna have to be a moment in this match. There's gonna have to be a moment in this match that there's gonna be something people remember.
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
I don't even know what, but something like mind-blowing that makes us go, wow, but still that Gage and Parker can still do something insane.
Oh, there is so much upward potential here on this one. As co-host, Brant, he said he calls it the Prince versus the King.
I like that.
That's
exactly what we
advertising
have
it as too.
Yeah, I love it. For me, I just put welcome back, Drew Parker. Let's enjoy every minute of him that we can. Again, just like Big F and Joe and Murdoch here, this is another potential UV champion. If only the travel wasn't such a pain in the
Passport
ass.
jail strikes again.
Yep. So I'm wondering, will Drew throw darts into Nick's back?
Oh yeah.
Does a Catholic does the bear pope shit in the Catholic woods? Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, look at the promo they put out today. It was literally a picture of Gage on a dartboard with Drew standing there. It's kind of foreshadowing.
Yeah. I like it. I love it. Let's see. What do we got right here? Great one says they need to do Drew Parker versus Jimmy Lloyd at some point. Pris versus the Deathmatch Prince. Oh, that's interesting. If we got enough dates in him, let's do it. Jimmy can go. Yeah. It's been a while. We need a nice bloody death match out of Jimmy. We need a reminder of Deathmatch Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we get a little bit of Deathmatch Jimmy in Japan? on the show that was not a GCW show.
Ooh,
The
good
first
question.
night of it was when he teamed with. I don't remember. I feel like there was some death match in that tag with Mia.
Yeah. Was that the DDT show, or you're talking the one directly after that?
The DDT show, which was not a GCW show at all. So there's
not
not Broski.
Not the Hurricane show.
Damnation TA, that's Daisuke Sasaki and Cannon versus Broski, Jimmy and Rina Yamashita. They lost that at 12 and a half minutes. That's the one you're talking about, I believe.
Maybe. He wasn't Broski Jimmy in the match I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He was Jimmy Lloyd.
He lost his gear. That's why he was only Jimmy Lloyd, not Broski Jimmy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They mentioned it on commentary one of the days where he's like, yeah, he didn't have.
But he did Broski Jimmy the other night.
Well, he has his gear
in between, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
that could have just been a different promotion, different character thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were doing different dimension. I thought they were doing the different dimensions kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's do it. The GCW World Title 3-way ladder match. Mance Warner versus Blake Christian versus Joey Janela. There's going to be a lot of opinions here. Who wants to start first?
I predicted before it was even announced.
True.
It's on videotape.
Can I throw something out here?
I think you predicted on the show we were all on together.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think? What are you thinking, Reed?
Call Roderick.
Oh, you're thinking Roderick, maybe?
He has a broken leg.
He's out and he's running his own show that night.
This is it.
That night?
Oh, he's running his own.
Night before.
The night before.
Okay.
He's on Friday, right? Never mind.
He's got a broken leg.
Yeah, he's out.
He's saying he's ready. That's what he's been saying.
That is not what he has been saying.
He's saying he's ready to go, though.
Oh, he's
and
what's going
in terms of a broken leg, you know what? Cole's a beast. Cole himself is a beast. You know who's Jacob Fatu is still working with a broken ankle and came in on SmackDown. So I'm just saying Cole could still do something with a broken leg.
I think they're going to save his return for a tag team with the brass ring is what I'm thinking. I think it might be a surprise.
So?
I don't know. So I'm just saying if I were to book him, I would make it a surprise booking and have him come back to challenge whoever the tag team champion is. And have him use the ring. Like him and Alec just come out like wildfire. Yeah. And again, I that's one idea. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm right.
This being a 3-way ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we don't get many ladder matches in GCW to begin. Oh, did I die out?
No, you're good, man.
I'm good.
I hear
Sorry. We don't get many ladder matches in GCW. So I think that will lead to some other interesting, occurrences in this match. There's so much potential for fuckery and outside interference in this match that I can't even begin to just fantasy book it in my head. It's like, smoking blunts outside the building. What if they did this? What if they did that? There's so many different ways that this match could go. Specifically, 3 people, specifically the angle that this has been, building up from. There's so many things I don't even want to begin to speculate. I'm just happy that this match is happening.
I think this is where Cardona comes in and does something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What are you thinking? Let's hear it, Skittle.
Everyone comes in and does something. That's the whole thing.
That's more likely too.
The likely is that this could be a clusterfuck. You got Megan, you got Mercer. Manders is still in this picture, especially with the way he lost his match. So he's still easily in the picture.
Is Jimmy booked for anything? I could see him inserting Jimmy in the match.
Jimmy's got to be involved in this in some way.
A surprise 4th entrant.
Steph,
he's a GM.
I mean,
what's the full Deathmatch royalty stable at now? Like, who's in it?
Steph, Mance, Jimmy, and Matt Cardona.
Okay,
and then Mr. Perfect.
If we're thinking,
and in terms of multiverses, Steph and Matt are friends right now. So
if we're thinking of swerves and stuff, just popped in my head. What if we get someone gets I don't know, like paid off or something in a ladder match and then just throws it for Joey? Like either Joey joins deathmatch royalty or Blake joins deathmatch royalty and it just turns into a 2-on-1 at the very end.
It's very possible.
Gives either way, I think no matter how you slice it, I think Mance is retaining. I think it's going to come really fucking close, but I think Mance looked good with the belt, carries it well. Everything he's been touching with the belt, it's been great. I don't want to see him drop it already.
I guess it's been too good of a reign to have it end at Homecoming. It needs to be where it's like, yes, Joey is that hometown hero, but the storyline hasn't been building up to like, okay, Mansoor needs to really be taken out. So yeah,
I can see Mansoor and Joey being the outgoing thread from this match. That I can still see that Mansoor and Joey still being the outgoing, feud where Joey is climbing the ladder at the end, and then Cardona comes out and throws the ladder off, and then Mance gets it. I can definitely see that being the starting point to the next set of pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Do we see this match as a Blake Christian like reset? Because I can see him going back to all heart face after this too.
It's gonna take a little bit. I think you're gonna have to do a different town for that. I think Atlantic
he could maybe turn cool heel.
Oh no, I'm not saying at this. I'm saying do we see it work towards it?
But I do think him losing this, because I agree with you, because I think Mance retains. I think this is going to be an all-timer. Like Frank said, we don't get a lot of ladder matches, especially in AC. It's going to be unbelievable. But yeah, Mance retains by the skin of his teeth. And where they go from that, I don't know. But I do think this is your moment. You could have Blake, maybe take him off a couple shows, let him go do some other stuff for a little bit. He comes back and saves somebody at somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Because it's not going to be easy overnight to fix.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, Tommy and
not in a bad way. I've very much enjoyed his heel run. I just think it's not as simple in GCW to go. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I was an asshole.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't even implying. he turns it and immediately.
I think, and sometimes in other
promotions, only Eddie Kingston can pull that off.
Didn't his heel run kind of start in the carousel room?
It was a mutual friend of me and Skittle, Tommy, and me. Was
Joe
just
Alfeo.
Yes, we could track it back to the exact match it happened. It was that Blake Christian versus Tony Deppen match that went on for 25 minutes.
And then he cut that promo.
And then they cut that 10-minute promo after a 25-minute match nobody cared to see. And then Joe Alfeo in the front row just would not shut the fuck up, telling Blake to get out of town. And then Blake came and sat in Joe's lap and was like, "Fuck you, Blake Christian," or whatever we were chanting that night. And it just went on for way too long. And then he started turning heel, and then that was the entire progenesis.
Yeah.
Of the heel run.
I think it's like Rasputin was saying, it slowly starts to taper off, but I do think at some point we'll get back as Face Blake. And of the two, I like both, but I really like Face Blake, especially like when you have everyone chanting all heart, he's fucking hitting high rope shit. Great.
Face Blake. I'm sorry, Joe. Me and Joe have like the perfect timing.
Yeah.
What I was thinking here was that Blake would have to give us something different because we just had a year of heel Blake. So if there is going to be another run, it's going to have some different flavor to it. And then I was looking at Joey. I know that a lot of future champions like to get themselves in tip-top condition right before their run. And I know he just kind of went through it medically, what he put online there. So I'm kind of curious if maybe he's on the mend and he's in the next chase. Because, again, we always like faces when they're chasing. It could go over with Mance and then Joey chases. And, again, just one opinion there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you guys in terms of getting Blake back to face. Because, unfortunately, no offense to Blake, but with the heel run that we saw Mance on these past couple of months, it kind of makes Blake's run feel like, so I just feel like we need to get kind of him back to that face. In terms of this man, I definitely agree with all you guys. Mance is retaining, and somehow Joey is getting screwed to kind of get that to be the storyline for the next kind of couple months.
Although if the idea, and this just occurred to me because someone not mentioning someone joining Deathmatch Royalty for the payoff. What if Blake's about to win, and it's Shane who ruins it for him? For man, to give
That's
that
big.
so that it's at least a smoother transition. That gives a smoother transition for Blake to actually go his next step. If he's still going to be running with GCW and having something to do there, that's a smooth transition. If he's now got no one, he actually even loses his muscle.
Yeah,
I could see Mercer and Deathmatch easily. Sorry, Reed, cut you off there.
Yeah,
Long-term idea. Mance retains because of fuckery, and Joey Janela doesn't get the belt. You let Mance cook with a belt until Collective, and then he drops it to Joey at Spring Break, his own event. That's a long run for Mance, though. But I think I haven't heard any.
Run.
It's a long run, but I don't think
Dude's
anyone's
on fire.
really saying, "Man, I really can't wait for the belt to come off of Mance." I think everyone just kind of digs what he's doing with it.
True.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think especially if you give him a long run, it really gives you the ultimate
Yeah.
payoff of that.
because he's I think gimmick-wise, he always thinks. I think he always thinks far ahead because we saw the rise of heel Mance slowly cooking for a while, and when it finally came, it was dope. So I think you're right.
I'm sorry, Gabe. We also saw a little tease between Blake working just a little bit with Mance there. So I don't know. I liked what Great One said here. He said Mercer could steady the ladder for Blake, but then go up the ladder and hit moonsault and battery for the swerve. I love that.
That'd be so fucking sick.
Great One with another one.
Gabe, how many times have we just been sitting around smoking saying, man, how awesome is
yeah, that's every time you visit Arizona. It's just you and me getting way too baked in my backyard, being like, yo, how sick would it be if you took 3 ladders, right? Some dumb, impossible shit.
On top of it? Wait, 3 ladders on top of each other?
Yes.
Even?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ladder centipede.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out, but it's always the most dumb, never gonna happen stuff. At one point, we had Tajiri coming in and just taking belts.
Flaming tables around the entire ring.
Yeah, see, that's that type of.
It's
really
on the
stupid
it's on the
shit.
floating ring island from Bash at the Beach, or no.
Wait, but didn't Brett kind of tease that?
He did. He teased something like that. So
he teased like a BJW show, show.
WCW
yeah.
One time, I forget what
over
show
in Japan.
I would love to see a GCW BJW show. That'd be pretty.
Floating ring in a pole. Let's do it.
Man.
Do any predictions on who Megan Bain was fighting night one? Because she was announced as fighting someone.
Yeah.
All right.
I love
Who
her.
do you think? Say it again. I'm so sorry. Who did you think?
Oh, no,
I thought
I'm not
gave
gonna.
a name.
Oh no, I said I love her.
I'm not answering what I think it could be, but I'm just gonna wink. And if you want the most, oh my god, you never thought that could happen, that's what I would go for. The one you never thought could ever happen ever.
I could see SDL because she hasn't had a match in a minute.
Yeah, it kind of fits into that storyline. That would be a pretty good match.
Yeah, Steph would also make sense though.
I'm trying to think of who we know is going to be there night 2 that would fit in with her in a match.
Couldn't tell you on that one.
Yeah, no, that was just way too wide open.
Yeah, I love.
It could be someone announced, or it could be someone completely not announced.
I still don't know. I'm going to brainstorm on that one because that's a good question. And you just stumped the room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
it was
go on
announced
that
today. That's why I was didn't really have time to think about who it could be.
My thing stumped. No one knows what I'm talking about.
Who are you thinking?
None of you.
No,
I mean it's indie wrestling, man. There's thousands of people there.
Yeah.
You want to see her wrestle Sabu?
Yeah, but there's only one. There's only one person that you would love to see make and get a chance to beat the living shit out of.
Who's that?
Someone who you've not seen in GCW in maybe 2-3 years, because
please say it.
Been allowed anywhere.
Who is it?
I'm just gonna do initials. CD.
Christopher Daniels.
Fuck yeah, Fallen Angel. Let's go, dude.
You guys,
Curry Man. Let's get Curry Man versus Megan Payne. Let's go.
It's fucking Christopher Daniels.
Out
of
becomes
sight,
the
out of
Don't
mind.
say
like,
it. Don't say it.
suicide thing from
it's
TNA.
out of sight, out of mind.
Don't talk about him.
All right. So on that note, we'll run into Homecoming Night 2. This one will obviously go. Hold on. This one will obviously go just a.
You missed the big one.
We didn't talk about.
Oh shit! What didn't we? What? Oh my god, John. Okay, you guys go ahead. I've lost control on this last one.
We didn't talk about, or maybe we did, but did we talk about Gage versus Parker? I know we kind of talked about it after Murdoch, like during Murdoch versus.
We kind of went through it, and I'm like, well, I guess we did it. Yeah, go ahead, Skittle. Bring us back. Let's talk about it, brother.
I feel like that's like a really big first time match. You got the fucking King versus Drew Parker. That's gonna be really dope. I think Gage is gonna, do Nick Gage things. Drew Parker will probably like jump off a ladder that he finds under the ring. After the Joey Janela, Mance Warner, Blake Christian match, they do some Drew Parker things, some Nick Gage things, some darts, some pizza cutters. It's gonna be nuts. I think that's probably gonna be main event.
We're getting darts on all four.
I feel like there might also.
You're saying this is main eventing over the ladder match?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just based off ring cleanup, this one's gonna go.
Drew's tweets give the implication that he is going to take this places that we have never. I mean, that's always hyperbole, and you say those things. But when it's someone like Drew Parker, who's like, I've been out of the game and I want to come back in and prove just one time that no one is at my level, that's a pretty big statement to make. Even on Twitter, that's a big statement to say that even being out of the game for the little bit he's been out, that no one, not even Gage, is at the level he's at. F match.
That's a good comment.
So,
I think if the ladder match goes on last, something absolutely insane is about to go down.
I think that this will be the rare GCW show with an intermission because we have the two death matches. One of them's going to go on the main before the intermission, and then the other one's going to either go second to last or last. And my heart of hearts wants Gage and Drew to go last, so I think it's going to be ladder is going to be second to last, and Gage is going to be last.
You don't think the Kirk's match will be a death match?
Not to the point where it needs an intermission to clean up after.
Okay. Makes sense.
John Wolf, you are on mute.
Thanks, Skittle. I was getting ready to say, was there anything else anybody wanted to mention about this match?
I wasn't sure.
Well, so obviously, like, it's GCW. Gage is going over in this match, right? Like that. There's no other way you can send a showboat home.
It's the fucking King. Like come on.
I'm 50-50. I could see where if they're stock in Parker. Over. Yeah, because I think Nick can take a loss without it really hurting his character.
So I think it depends upon how much we'll truly see Drew and GCW going forward. Like if he's going to be more often,
a loss could almost. A loss here could almost taint Drew's legacy, and I feel like one of the things that they want to do is they as a company
we may have lost
Drew is done.
Oh, there we go.
We
go. I heard you again.
But I don't know if a loss to Nick Gage taints legacy.
You're talking about
Nick Gage, like
you're talking about someone that won TOS, has won multiple BJW titles, like has
that's the dark side of the ring about him. Like this man is one of the biggest names.
Gage is an Undertaker level talent that does not care about wins or losses at this point. His aura carries him over his record.
Yeah, like there's nothing I think that could taint either of their careers. This is going to be a match that at the very end of it, they'll probably hug and then just like raise their hands or some shit. The classic indie. Damn, that was amazing. Both these guys, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So could this match kind of like, I'm not saying Gage is like coming to the end, but like passing of the torch kind of thing? Could we see that type of thing at the end of the
Not
match?
this match, not to Drew, but I definitely see that kind of match coming up very soon.
I would love to see it with him and Jimmy.
Yeah, it's the Nick Gage, respectfully, tour of going through the big death match dudes and doing his last run of death matches, or what people are calling his last run of death matches, has been pretty sick. Him and Orin was fucking awesome. I expect Drew and
Shout out to Orin
Gage
too.
Yeah, one of my homies. Yeah, I think this tour, if you will, of doing his last run has just been awesome. Like, I don't think there's anything that could make this match not go off well. So, and yes to darts.
not to kind of get, I'm not trying to get off topic or anything, but this is a dream match in terms of death match. Is there any, like, talking about the tours of Gage, is there any guys that he hasn't fought yet that you're like, I hope he fights this guy before it's all said and done?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
Damn, there's a lot of independent wrestlers.
There's one that I have, but unfortunately he's done too many things the past couple of years where you'll never see him in GCW.
Hey, look, it's personal opinion. Who are you thinking? I'll give you
I was
mine.
thinking,
I got
I'm thinking
Younger. I was
Say that
thinking Drake
again, Joe?
Younger.
Drake Younger. Yeah. I'll just open. Man, I miss Schlack. I miss quite a few of these people that really gave GCW its bite. You know what I mean? I miss Cologne. You know, so but again, it's just personally as a fan, that's what I'm saying. I know nothing more than that. So
all that stuff is cool, but the match that needs to happen one last time, I wouldn't be surprised if it would be his last match. It needs to be Gage versus Tremont.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
bro.
I had that same thought.
Gage's retirement match has to be Tremont, and like if you can. For me, I don't know any. I'm a fucking West Coaster, so I don't know how shit works back east. But if you could somehow like get the building that they started GCW in, Game Changer World, or like some other venue where it used to be ran, and then
I think
run
that venue
one
is
last show.
shut down.
Isn't it a
It's
chicken
shut
place?
down. It's
Yeah,
shut
is it?
down, but it's still vacant, I think.
Okay, yeah, like you rent it for one night or something.
Yeah.
I'm on the West Coast. I don't know about that shit over there. And then just do one last match, and it's Gage's retirement, and it's him and Tremont, and you do it up the way that it used to look with the fucking red bricks and then the red painted logo and all that. The red
call it
It's
GCW
literally-
one night only.
yeah,
it's-
one night
it's-
stand or some shit like that.
Yeah, like
It's
the
the
old
deathmatch
ECW.
KO and Sammy. It's
That's-
literally El Generico versus KO all over again.
Yeah, like
Yes.
that's just a pipe dream thing. Like I think if that happened, that's how you would properly send him off. But I think either way, Tremont and Gage has to be his retirement. I think that's just the perfect bow tie to a illustrious career. So
I think that's all we can say about.
You
And
want
I
to
checked.
make it a dream venue, a super dream venue. Somehow they get the ice rink for one night only.
The ice rink.
I
Which
lived-
one are you thinking?
The Voorhees ice rink.
Oh,
the
okay.
Flyer
okay.
Zone.
That was a
checked
roller
in the-
skating rink, right?
No, it was ice hockey.
It was
They
called
did
the
ice
Skate
hockey.
Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually played ice hockey on the other field.
Yeah, I feel like they did roller skating and ice hockey. I never went there though.
Okay, so
Have to
let's
go
go
with-
into
yeah.
night 2, or do you want to? Anybody else want to kind of mention
I think
anything
that's
else?
all we could say about night one.
What are you
Yeah,
thinking?
I gotta dip though. So
No problem. That's why I said come and go as you need to, man.
yeah,
Hey, thank
Let's say,
you
guys, this
so
would probably
much, Gabe.
also be my tap out point.
Not a
Yeah.
problem.
so
Skittle,
but
So much.
thanks for having me on. Let me know the next time you want me,
100%.
you wanna- I'll be down
100%.
to talk to about December Phoenix. So
Oh hell yeah. Yeah. We're gonna keep a rotation. There's a lot of people that want to go in and stuff. Absolutely. We'll just try to keep names
Hell
in
yeah.
there. And the more you know, the more we like to have you on, kind of thing anyway. And there's, like I said, everybody here knows their shit. So thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Skittle. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you guys probably within the next
Yeah.
12 hours or so. Thank
Hell
you.
yeah, bro.
so
Thank you for having me.
Much love too.
Hell yeah, bro. For real.
cool. Later.
Peace out.
Okay. All righty there.
Before
Okay.
we went into the night two, I did actually have a question do we feel that night one and night two really speak to each other, or are there matches? At least I personally feel there are matches that I would move around the card the way night 1 and night 2 has been organized.
Okay,
There's
go ahead.
only
Keep
7
expanding.
There's
I just certain, like if you put Joe versus John Wayne Murdoch on night 2, or put Gage and Parker on night 2, so you don't have a match like the cage match, like the ladder match.
So one of my thought processes were, he's grabbing that. One of my thought processes was that you can kind of tell how difficult the first night is by how cake the second night is. So if you have a one-on-one death match and then night 2, they're in a 6-person death match.
Yeah.
Generally, it's probably because they're a little sore and they need to just ride out those minutes in ring.
There's only 7 matches announced for night 2 as well. So that means that there's either flex space for what goes wrong on night 1 to change on night 2, or that there's something off the wall bonkers in an old 2017 Raw style half hour, talkie segment.
Well, yeah, you're getting some kind of bonkers thing with Cardona in the terminal. Some kind
We had
of
the Cardona wedding 2 years ago, and that was literally the main event of night 2, which was the strangest fucking thing.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I love that.
Well, it almost basically went off without a hitch. That's the weirdest part.
Let's see here.
But yeah,
Okay.
getting back to talking about flipping the matches. I agree with John when you're talking about these guys are killing each other night 1. You kind of give them a little bit of a breather night 2, putting them in, for example, the U.S. versus UK death match, 6-man match. You got Big Joe in the match and you got Kirk in the match. Give them that breather because they're killing it on the night before. That's probably why they're doing it Saturday versus Sunday.
I expect I guess we should start with that 6-man then, John, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. We can start right there with the 6-man.
For the purposes of introducing this properly, the 6-man is Big fucking Joe, Drew Parker, and Lou Nixon versus Kirk, Hoodfoot, and Tremont.
Has Hoodfoot ever been in the terminal?
Hoodfoot once, I think once.
Okay.
Just recently, right?
In the terminal?
Ooh, I don't know about Drew.
Oh, I gotta check now.
No, Lou been in?
Oh no, Lou has never.
Lou, I feel if anything, because of some of the other people in the match are retired, I feel all the work going to Hoodfoot and Lou. They'll just be going wonkers on each other, and the other two will probably rest a little.
Oh, okay, yeah, 20 had the War Games announcement. I think the heavy hitters in that 6-man, your Ricky Mortons, if you will, for the 6-man match, are gonna be Lou and Hoodfoot, or maybe Lou and Brandon.
Yeah, okay. I think depending upon what type of match we see on Saturday night will dictate that. If Brandon and that Kirk match is
but Lou Nixon will definitely be the workworse for that British side.
Which I'm all for, because Lou can absolutely.
I mean, obviously, Drew
and he's fresh.
Drew and Joe, of course, will do some stupid shit in that match.
So
but the workhorse.
Well,
no, you go, Frank. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got my thought. Go ahead.
Well. Speaking of, when I asked about the Bane, maybe he's that ends up fighting Bane on night 1. Flying him over to have one show when you're doing a 2-night event doesn't make sense to me. So maybe he's the one that's
a good thought.
Fighting her.
Yeah, that's a nice Hoss fight. That's a good Hoss fight right there.
He might be over at I forget what promotion.
Oh, is he on King of the Kill?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably
so. I know he's not just coming over for this. I just wanted to make. I'm about to bounce as well, but I wanted to touch on this match. This match, I think, has real steal the weekend potential. Like you said, depending on how banged up some of these guys are from night 1, and how much it's might have to get carried by the fresh guys. It's gonna go crazy. I mean, like you said, a couple of these guys time in the terminal. A place to take a name for yourself. I'm a huge fan of all of them already, but I think you're going to see a lot of glass, a lot of blood, and an incredible 6-man death match. Which
I mean, Brandon has done those back-to-back weekends before, so I don't expect Macizos and Kirks to go that hard on Saturday in the grand scheme of things. I mean, obviously we're on a floating point scale, which GCW is way high up on that window, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to be that bad where Brandon's going to be limping around in that 6-man, and I could definitely see him carrying the weight, and I can see that this might be a feature match for Brandon because obviously I'm a Brandon mark, but I'm the Kirk. I'm totally hashtag love the Kirks, but I think that Lou Nixon and Brandon will be that that bar fight punch spot that everybody remembers and everybody starts banging the Mac on for this match specifically.
Yeah, because all these guys are going to be banged up because even outside GCW, they're all in tournaments and stuff on Saturday. So they're all going to be a little taped up and, leaking early.
All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate you for having me on. You're muted also. Don't forget.
Yeah, John, I'm going to actually jump
Dude, it's
off
my
this.
plague. It's totally my plague. Thank you so much, Rasputin. I love you, man. Appreciate you for coming.
Of course. I'll see you guys soon.
Saturday.
I'll see you guys this weekend. If not, I'll have a
See you
good
later.
one, guys. I'll see you soon.
Unfortunately,
Have a good
I
time.
have a mother who is very sick, so I can't stay a whole weekend out anywhere these
My
days.
best wishes to you and her. All right.
Absolutely.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care,
Yeah.
Young.
I'm going to
Talk
jump
soon.
off too, John. I appreciate you having me on again. And anytime you want me back on, just shoot me a message.
You know it, Joe. I'll talk to you here soon in the next 12 hours or so. I'll say hi to you, man. Thank you again.
Sounds good. Have a good night, everyone. See you. Any of you coming Saturday? See you Saturday.
See you, man. All righty.
Have fun, everyone.
Let's finish strong.
Yeah, we can finish strong.
Yeah,
we got a couple matches here. It's not big.
The three of us can just zoom through them now, I guess.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, then. Here we roll. The JCW Championship, Masha Slamovich versus Megan Bain. I just wrote down here, this is the matchup I really need to see.
More good women's matches in GCW. This is the quality of women's matches I want to see. This is the kind of stuff that we don't see. This reminds me of
at least in GCW.
Yes. What's that? There's a Chicago indie that Kylie used to wrestle for, and I forget, Warrior?
Kylie Ray?
Yeah.
It could be Warrior Wrestling. She
was with she's still with AIW still too. So
it might be AIW, it might be Warrior, but when I saw Megan versus Masha, that's the first thought I have is that reminds me of like one of those, Midwest super indie style matchups that you would see. And I say that as a compliment. I don't mean that as a as a dig, but this is just not a match you usually see in GCW's lineup.
GCW. I believe Beyond has done this match, and it was a banger. These two definitely can speak to each other. But also, I think if we're gonna keep Megan around,
great one. It could have been one of 30 different feds. Like I'm just saying, it definitely reminds me of. This is a good match, but you just don't see these kind of matches in GCW that often.
It's rare to see something with this quality on the independents. All right, here. I'm going to go on to Galeno Del Mal versus Tony Deppen. Again, these matches on our night 2 when we do reviews, they go quicker anyway because half the time we've said what we needed to say on night 1.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, any thoughts on Galeno and Deppen?
This is not a Tony gatekeeper match. This is a Tony gets his ass kicked match.
What are you thinking, Reed?
I'm not a gatekeeper, but I feel like it's still gonna be a match of like Tony's still gonna be a test here. We've seen a lot from Galeno Del Mal, but we haven't seen him in a match with someone like a Deppen. Can he handle
a true technical?
We know he's a big, and not just technical, but that next level of American storytelling. Because that's what I feel like. Tony Deppen is one of the greatest all around everything wrestlers. He can even do high flying if the match calls for it. I've seen him do it. I've seen what Tony, I've been following Tony Deppen since 2012. I've seen what the guy is capable of. This is still a gatekeeper match because he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But this is a gatekeeper match still because I think it's still a match. If we don't know what Galeno is fully capable of. Is he his father's son?
Yeah.
We don't really know if he's his father's. Like, we know that it's amazing that his father never became a bigger star. Man can speak English, gorgeous, should have been a huge American superstar. Never happened.
He's got a
Even
sleek,
now,
he's got a good look to
still
him.
happen, and it still happen.
Dude, I wish
So
I looked
this is
half
what
that
I
good at
think-
his age.
So I feel this could be a show and tell for Gallant. You know, does he have?
I can see Tony playing up the American heel and playing up more of the heel bullshit. You know, like powdering out a lot more often than he normally does in a match, and playing up just like, you know, the heel tropes rather than Tony just being an asshole. And, you know, he's still, you know, he's just a fighter full of piss and vinegar. But I can definitely see him playing up, you know, like the, oh, I'm gonna hang out outside for the 10 count and not get involved with this guy. I can see him playing up a lot more of that on Sunday.
So do we think this is the Galeno Del Mal face push right here?
They have a very good chance it could be, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a face or a heel push. He just is right now, basically.
Yes.
Right? So,
Just is, yeah.
I think people want to love him though, because when he does anything with impact, people are like, oh, you know, the big guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So. All right, we'll flip through Zilla Fatu versus Speedball Mike Bailey. I like a lot about this. Speedball has a tendency to get blood from an orange. So I feel that this is probably going to be one of the better Zilla Fatu matches we've seen since he's come in. And I feel like Speedball is just good hands to be in.
This will be a good technical match for Zilla. I don't think this will be a brawl. I think this will be a wrestling match because Speedball's involved. I know Speedball can go, you know, Speedball brings in doors every now and again, but I think this will be the cleanest match on the card. I think this will just be the Spot Fest match.
What do you think, Reed?
Excluding the standard 6-man scramble fuck, which I think is definitely going to happen on this Sunday card.
We can't call Bailey a gatekeeper, but he's definitely become a.
I can hear you.
We can hear you. Your face. There you go.
There you go. You're back.
I feel like Bailey is a test match for anyone. Anyone who's coming in, no matter Raj versus Bailey was a test for, you know, for Raj of like, okay, we know who you are, we know what you're capable of, but we've never ever seen you in a match with someone like a Mike Bailey. Can you you know, can you keep up? Are you gonna somehow falter and make us go, oh no, you're not as great as we thought?
We lost our boy for a minute there. We're good. Yeah,
You may have had to do the same thing I did. Where I rebooted my whole thing. So,
you know what? Sometimes just things go crazy. We'll wait until he comes up there. Yeah.
I can talk about Tombstone Genius and Otto von Clutch now.
I'll tell you what, he went over like wildfire in Salt Lake City, and dude, that was a good ass match too.
His son, who I haven't seen work in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also a wrestler. He's Otto von Clutch, and he's done Vegas a lot. So we might end up the clusterfuck this year could be the most interesting clusterfuck yet.
Well, let's see here. It's clusterfuck.
Frank, look.
I see. Frank's trying to get himself back in here. It just may be a second. Let's see here. It's okay. All right, so we'll keep rolling here just because then he'll pop in. I know. Reed, he says, "Evening, fellas. Awesome Speedball versus Zilla."
Did that say his name was Reed? Was that another Reed?
Yeah, Reed Iblan. Eblan.
Hey, Reed.
So we have
Reed.
Reed's worldwide here. I see Frank's trying to connect back in.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just the thing here is.
I don't know.
We'll go ahead and keep moving along.
I've never seen this StreamYard before. Was it the app or your internet?
I could have been my internet, probably.
Okay.
It happens. We were getting ready to go into Charles Mason versus Fuego del Sol. What are your thoughts on that one?
Oh my God. I think that this will probably. Oh, my camera died. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
He
It's
can
all
hear
good.
you though.
So I think that this will probably be a good Fuego match, just because we haven't seen him solo yet. We've seen him in Fuego House. We've seen him
I know. Can't you just put it to the side?
We've seen him in scrambles. We've seen him in tag matches, but we haven't seen him solo in at least a minute. So I think that this will be a good showcase match for Fuego again.
Interesting. Let me go ahead and there. I'm going to mute you, Reed, so you don't have to worry there. He's doing his thing real quick. Okay. And I'll just keep us rolling here, Frank, so we can get rolling on this. GCW Tag Team Championship, Violence is Forever versus Los Macizos. Who do you think comes out the winner in this one?
I think Violence is Forever retains here.
Yeah.
I think that this will be another instance of Macizos falling apart. I don't think that there I am. Hold on.
I see you now. Maybe it's just, it could be StreamYard. You know what I mean?
It's probably StreamYard. Yeah, my room's a mess. That's why I'm trying to hide myself.
You're good. You're good, man.
I think that this will probably feed into that Macizos collapse storyline. I think Violence is Forever is going to retain. I think that we are nearing the end of the Violence is Forever run, just because they have been so sporadic recently. I think they either need to pick up more dates, or I think they just need to drop the belts at this point. And I think a good spot to drop would probably be like next. Yeah, it's going to be there. I think October in Atlantic City is going to be where they drop, just out of, just me being a hungry Atlantic City fan, but I don't see the Violence is Forever hanging on for much longer.
I'm right there with you. Like I said, I'm really banking one day here soon on Cole coming back and really doing his thing. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. So at some point, if that happens, that's what I want to see. I'm a big Los Macizos fan. And for me, I feel like there's some confusion with Violence is Forever. Like, I'm supposed to sing along to their music, but I have to boo them 2 minutes later. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to do. I wish they could get on the microphone more, because I felt like I haven't seen their personality. My wife said that they just do. That's all she said. She goes, they just do. There's no flair to it. They operate and they do their thing. And I said, well, there are some wrestlers like that and whatnot. And they're kind of almost the enforcer type. They show up, they whoop ass, they leave. So
honestly, this is not going to sound good no matter how I say it. So I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I saw them at DFW. I think it was DFW when they came up to the Mecca, or it was like DFW Live, Deadlock Live, one of the shows. And they did get on the mic, and it's just an issue of the voices don't fit the bodies.
Yeah.
It might be keeping them off the mics in GCW.
I'm going to put Reed down there, so it's just you and I for a minute.
I know, again, this isn't going to sound good, but they do have a... We're not doing well here at the end, are we?
No, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. It's just everybody gets tired, and we've had disconnections and shit. So,
I think there's just like a certain, not a dorkiness to their voice, but it's just very, it doesn't match their personas, especially in GCW.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Ku and Dom are very Tyson-esque in that regard, is what Great One said. Man, oh man. And that sounds about right. I mean, I've heard them once or twice and I go, okay. So who knows? Maybe that's why they stay off the mic. Maybe just to, it's not like I have the lowest voice either. So I can't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, look at me and my stupid voice, I'm all the way up here. I think that's just the case of why they're not, personality wise. They're just results driven.
Well, GCW fandom is, personality driven. I mean,
it doesn't
fickle. Matter if you're
very fickle.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you're if you have a good personality, you can float for a little bit with us. You know what I mean? Just give us some fun. like Santana Jackson or whatnot, and we laugh.
I love
We enjoy
Santana.
ourselves.
I love Santana so much. So much fun.
Nice as can be also.
I haven't had
Go
I
ahead.
don't think I've met him. I'm not sure. I'm trying. It's one of those. There's a certain point where you almost forget if you've actually met a wrestler or not, especially if they're not someone you talk to on a regular basis. And then there's some people in GCW that I've known long before there was ever a GCW. And then there's people that I've met just along the way at various shows, and then it's like, have we met? But they have the same problem. Yeah. You've gone to 5 shows, they've met you 5 times in a row, and they don't remember if they've met you.
Dude, I go to half these shows so fucking high, I can't remember shit when I walk out of there.
Who are you?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. And they're like, hey, you remember that conversation we had? I'm like, no, I'm so sorry.
We met in Vegas, didn't we?
See? It's just like that.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. Dude, yeah, I would not be surprised. Yeah.
Pretty sure we met him.
Main event, Nick Gage and Matt Hardy versus Matt Cardona and Broski Jimmy. Here comes all the fuckery. I have a feeling this is a short amount of matches because this match right here will probably be a 45-minute. Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, PCO, Steph, Maxwell, Rebby.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Rebby's father, who's the gardener.
I could see the entire Hardy family being part of this match.
Who's the gardener? Who was their Rebby's father, the gardener?
That's your real father. That's Rebby's actual father.
Yeah, I know. I forget his character name.
Esteban, is it?
Whatever. I can definitely see him coming out with the delete shovel. Like,
hey, it's all possible. Everyone's for sale.
Shannon Moore shows up.
Can I put money down? Can I put pretty safe money down on something here?
What are you thinking?
I have $20 on the lower third for Matt and Nick being murder, delete, kill.
Oh yeah. Murder, delete, kill is fucking awesome. I love that name.
Okay.
Like I've tweeted that before and it didn't gain traction, but like lower thirds not matching what Emil's calling out for tag team names is like a given. It's like that's like on the drinking rules for GCW at this point. It's like Emil gets kicked out of the ring with an oh shit hot start, and the lower third doesn't match with the announced tag team name. That's like that taxes in those two things.
And shirts, easy shirts to get made and sell for $20. $25.
Good point. Again, everything's for sale.
For a one-time match.
Yeah.
Well, we'll cut it here. We'll just say that we did it because that puts us like right at the 2-hour mark.
Hey.
So Frank and Reed, thank you so much. If either of you want to stick around just after I shut off, I'll just tell you guys thank you and stuff. So thank you to everyone for sharing their opinions and exchanging ideas tonight. We had a lot of people in here. I know there are quite a few people that probably had a lot more to say. We will be having more fan forums in the future, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot on here because, again, this is for all of us. That's what this is all truly about.
And I'm
so
sure
again,
I've
thank you so much.
Audience by now.
Well, I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate everything. It's like, I don't know, group effort. We're all just trying to get along and have a good time.
Senor
Benjamin.
Thank you, Great One. I don't know what I was thinking.
So Great One, he comes in here quite a bit. We see him on camera. I try to bring him when I can because, as you can tell, he just knows his stuff, man. He's just another educated
He's
guy.
stat boy when I'm on camera. That's his job.
Yeah.
He's stat boy, and he
keeps me honest. Yeah, because if I can't think of something or if I'm wrong, he keeps me honest on that, and I absolutely love him for it. Again, thank you. There's only one way we close out the show, and it ends like this. Long live GCW.
Yeah,
Have a great night, everyone.
See you.
Master.